There's the starters again. Joe Crawford has got ball in hand. Bennett Salvatore and Dikembe, the other two officials. Those retro uniforms, by the way, Nets are 1-0 wearing those this year. They beat Indiana and beat them badly in the regular season. Kenyon Martin's got everybody up. 19,000 plus. Game 5 underway.
Joe Crawford's trying to get the game underway, and Kenyon Martin is acting like a cheerleader out there, calling the crowd down to the court.
They come out to meet Tony Parker, trying to feed inside to David Robinson's. Tim Duncan in San Antonio turns it over on their first possession. And
nice
now
D.
Duncan steals it right back.
Oh, a 7-footer out there picking your pocket.
All-league defense virtually every season of his career, Tim Duncan.
Duncan wants it back offensively. Martin right there with him. Tony Parker moves it to Jackson. He gave up a 3. He'll take the outside jumper and knock it down. Stephen Jackson has not been that effective really since game 2, and he knocks down the first basket of the ball game.
Well, that is a great way to slow the rush. You slow them down by the pump fake, and next time they try to come out at you, they'll think, well, wait a minute, I don't want to fly out there, because if I do, they might pump fake and go by me. It makes it easier for you to squeeze off a shot.
Kittles gets it back to Kenyon Martin. He'll try to do the same for the Nets and doesn't. Jackson with a rebound.
Beautiful step out by David Robinson. We'll have to monitor what kind of game David can give.
The pattern has been when he's got more rest, he's a lot better. This, of course, just a 2-day turnaround. And here he is in the lane, and Collins may have gotten a piece of it.
That looked like a weather balloon. Floated that. And oh, by the way, a lot of these jerseys they're coming out with, I mean, they got rid of them for a reason, because they were ugly.
I disagree.
It's because you used to wear those. Kidd outside, knocks it down. Game at 2. Jason Kidd hits his first jumper.
What will be the balance for New Jersey's defense of Kidd or Kittles on Tony Parker? Will the Spurs cuts away from the ball be quick? Or will they be lazy cuts?
Nice job again by Kenyon Martin. He's really got quick hands when Tim Duncan goes to put it on the floor. He's been there often.
Yeah, quick hands and quick feet. I mean, Tim Duncan spins. He's there to cut off the lane. But something just tells me, I got a hunch that Tim Duncan's going to have a monster game tonight.
He had 32 in game 1, and he's come, as we said, back to earth a little bit since then.
David Robinson is stepping out when guys are curling off those elbow screens. Magnificent defense for the former MVP, former Defensive Player of the Year.
Here he is. Collins on him on top. Duncan gives it up right away this time. Might want it back from Parker. And almost stolen by Kittles. Jackson's going to take it and knock down a 3. So what a start for Stephen Jackson.
The concentration. When you stink up the joint, you have 48 hours to think about it. You dream about the opportunity of having that ball in your hands one more time.
Martin, quick move across the lane, missed off the glass. Duncan with a rebound.
Well, that's one of the first times in the series that he's got the ball on the left block and gone right, and he had a great look at the bucket. You keep getting looks like that, you're going to put those down.
He wants to get to that jump hook a lot.
And now he strips it from Duncan again, but it comes free to Bowen. Duncan's just going to turn and deal right there.
Well, I'm surprised he takes so much time down on the left or the right block trying to back Kenyon Martin in. Because if he gets to 8 feet, he can just turn around and shoot over him.
He's never really been a fast starter. This would be a pretty good time for it.
He's running out of chances for quick starts. Jefferson, who had the big game 4. RJ goes inside. It was halfway down. Collins now is mugged by Robinson.
And while Jefferson did not score on that drive, the opportunity to draw the two big guys over there and give a lane to the offensive glass for Jason Collins is just invaluable. And you get a foul on Robinson, who was in serious foul trouble, as was the entire Spur front line in game 4.
Collins hits the free throw. Collins was scoreless in game 4, so he's ahead of the pace and knocks them both down. Jason makes it a 3-point game.
Well, they're certainly trying to establish Duncan on that right block early on. I'll be interested to see if they can get Parker going, get some pick and rolls. This guy right here has just been fantastic. That's a travel.
And that was his problem in actually all 4 games, but he had 7 turnovers in one of the ball games in game 2. Here's Jefferson up high in the air.
That's a foul on Collins.
And Collins, who fouled out of the last game, picks up his first.
Well, Jackson gets ahead of himself is what he does. And he starts doing those curly kneels out there where he just whoop, 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 3 Stooges spinning around, dribbling all over the place, and he loses the ball. And that's when Popovich gets the hook out.
He would be so much better off to just dump it inside quickly and then get on the move instead of trying to create for himself.
Took the jumper there from just inside the foul line. Kittles a rebound. The outlet to Jefferson, and Parker with a foul.
Jason Kidd is arguing for a clear path to the basket foul here. The referees are going to talk this one over.
And I think they're right.
Well, I don't know.
How can you say you don't know? He's out in front and he's grabbed from behind. You can't grab a guy by his jersey.
Kevin McHale did it all the time.
Excuse me?
Believe me, I was a recipient of a few of those.
Jefferson at the stripe. And he got the roll. Had to talk that one in.
One free throw and possession.
Yeah, it's like saying, hey, let me grab your jacket. I'll show you what he was doing out there.
2 of these referees worked game 1. Bennett Salvatore's the addition tonight.
Jason Kidd hits a 3.
Well, that's a terrific sign for New Jersey. Jason Kidd shooting 33% on the series. That's the good news. The bad news, he's taking 20 shots a game to do that.
So that was a 4-point trip. Robinson trying to hammer home Parker's miss. It comes out to Jackson.
Long rebounds at the foul line often determine huge games like this.
Duncan gave up a 17-footer for a runner and then tipped it in.
I just throw it out the front of the rim. Oh, Moses Malone, get your own rebound, tip it right back in. But that's what, I mean, amongst other things that make him special, is the ability at 7 feet to be able to put it on the floor and shoot a runner in the middle of the court or middle of the lane.
Gives it up to Martin. He throws it to Collins. One too many passes there.
The hands of the big men for San Antonio are just too good.
Got to shoot that.
Parker, and he doesn't get it again inside.
Yeah, that was one of those ones, a couple games ago. He would have pulled up from 16 and drilled it.
The confidence wavering for Tony Parker right now.
But Kidd's got the hot hand from the perimeter.
And he's going to try to show us, and he does. And a steal by Kittles. Coast to coast for Kittles. Look out.
San Antonio's been getting away with throwing those long cross-court passes throughout this series. If Kittles and Jefferson will play a little higher in the passing lanes, they can get those plays time and time again.
Duncan trying to go to the hole with some authority. Missed it. Jefferson to Kidd. Kidd pull-up jumper. He's feeling it.
Watch out. Timeout quickly. Try to hold off this crowd. Everybody's calling him out. Richard Jefferson, Kenyon Martin.
The Nets found themselves in an early hole, 7-2, but boy, did they climb out of it in a hurry. This is what they do best. Kittles with a steal and the flush on the other end. That was part of a 12-2 Nets run over the last 2.5 minutes. Jason Kidd is feeling it tonight off the missed shot. He knocks down the 15-footer, and all Greg Popovich can do is say timeout, and Richard Jefferson got everybody up.
How are you going to win if you're the New Jersey Nets? Have your big guys compete, fight for the ball underneath the basket, and then capitalize on the guard play. Rarely will you see Jason Kidd take that jumper in that situation this early in the game, but with Kittles and Kidd playing fabulously, hope is alive for New Jersey.
Mutombo, you can see on Duncan, has checked in, almost stripped the ball from him, and Tim got possession back and knocked down his 3rd field goal.
Now, I love when Jason Kidd shoots those shots. The rhythm jump shots in the open court. I think he should do more of that because he's a much better shooter in the open court and rhythm than he is in the half court. Of course, right now, he's doing a little bit of everything.
He's going to try it again. This one's in and out. Collins almost tipped it in, going back up. And now Parker on the run. Tony Parker all the way. Jefferson was on a moon landing up there and almost got it, but Parker got it in.
Well, you got to wonder how Kenyon Martin's feeling, because this is a lineup with Collins playing power forward along with Mutombo. I don't think we've seen much of.
But they're just going to give Kenyon Martin a quick breather just to make sure he's okay. Hasn't been feeling well.
Kidd a runner, and the rebound is Robinson.
I disagree with you, Tom. I don't like it when Jason Kidd shoots a lot. I'd rather have him passing. If he has to shoot a lot, they're not going to win.
Well, it depends on how he's shooting, of course. I'm just saying the shots that he does take, I would like to see him in the open court more than the half court.
Jackson with 4 on the shot clock. Gonna have to hurry. Duncan with 1. Missed the shot. The rebound is Kittles. And he's out of the pack in a hurry again.
Kittles got a real bead on the ball tonight.
He's done so well playing the passing lanes defensively throughout the series, including that one he had before the timeout on the dunk. 4 minutes, 5 seconds remaining first quarter. 14-13 Nets, loose ball. Tony Parker comes up with it.
I don't know about you, but these uniforms are kind of freaking me out.
I like them.
I'm expecting Otis Birdsong to take a jumper and Buck Williams to grab a rebound.
I'm expecting to hear from Stuart Scott right now, Stu.
Brad, Kenyon Martin is a little winded. Now, here's a guy who loves to get out and play, but he's winded for 2 reasons. Of course, the effects of the flu, but also because he hasn't practiced the last 2 days. And any athlete who can go 2 days without practicing going to lose a little bit. But, of course, they're going to leave him in there. Hopefully he can get his legs back by running, if that sounds kind of crazy.
He's going to run to the scorer's table right now, but as you can see, he is all bundled up. He was that way in Game 4 the other night as well. Defensive 3-second violation, so Parker is going to step to the free throw line.
Under these circumstances, with Kenyon Martin under the weather, you play him in short bursts. You play him 4 or 5 minutes, give him a minute or 2 off, so he doesn't lose the concentration that leads to careless fouls that could really jeopardize his team's chances late.
Back in there with Mutombo, Kidd, Lucious Harris, who just came in, and Richard Jefferson. So the Spurs will have it out of bounds, trailing by 1. Tony Parker missed the free throw. That Parker field goal, by the way, you have to go back 36 minutes into Game 4 to find the last time Tony scored, and that's after he had the sensational Game 3 of 26 points.
The Nets are doing a tremendous job on their defensive rotations.
Duncan tries that big sweeping left hook again.
Mutombo is forcing incredibly difficult shots. The fans don't like this call. Right in front of the Nets bench.
Well, we've seen 2 of those left-handed hooks. I don't think we've seen that all year, have we? Or at least not in this playoff series.
Not in this series.
It's not one of his pet shots, let's put it that way.
As a defender, and Mutombo was right at the top of the list in this league, you force your opponent to do what he doesn't want to do.
Yep.
I'd say Tim won't want to do that too many more times. Rose inside. He'll try the left hand, and that one's short too.
Mutombo has completely turned this series around.
He certainly made an obstacle for Duncan and company. And Bowen with the push.
He's given this entire franchise a reason to believe.
Well, there's Duncan shooting without Mutombo.
Wow.
And with him on the floor, 20% less.
Which begs the question, why doesn't he play all the time? It's not like he's going to get tired. Offensive foul, Mutombo.
And no one commits a foul in this league. Anybody. You can't do that. You can't step into the guy and lean. Oh, me?
Parker around a Duncan pick right back to him, and Duncan will take the long jumper and knocks it down.
That's the path of least resistance right there. Why dribble into a guy at 7'3", 7'2", and a great shot blocker when you can hit that shot, and it's easier.
And Tim would tell you that's about the extent of his range right there. Jefferson weaving inside and blocked. Whoa. He got it back, though, and Kittle tried for 3. Got it! Jason Kidd's as hot as we've seen him in the series.
And who's really playing well for San Antonio other than Tim Duncan? And that's not a good sign.
The whole place is rocking, and Chris Rock's here as well. And the Nets lead the Spurs 17-15, 2:25 to go first quarter. Nets head coach Byron Scott with some court sounds for you. This was his word to his troops before they took the floor tonight.
A lot of energy, baby, to keep that same intensity that we had the last game. Let's just take it up another notch. Okay, on both ends of the court, take it up another notch. Okay, it's our time. It's our time. Nets on 3. 1, 2, 3. Nets.
They definitely took it up a notch early in this game and had a 5-point lead, but that's dissipated a bit. Jason Kidd, though, 5 out of 7, the best he shot so far by far.
Byron Scott is trying to become the 16th coach in the history of the NBA to win the championship in his first 3 years of coaching, but knows full aware of the daunting task ahead of him. He told the guys, forget about Sunday. Forget about 7. This is the one you have to get.
Duncan tried to dish it to Rose and threw it away.
Ooh,
Parker with a nice soccer kick.
Got to be a kick. Well, how many of these guys grew up playing soccer?
Well,
Tony Parker, obviously.
Tony was one of them.
Ginobili, obviously. Tim Duncan was a swimmer.
Turnover story even. Lucious Harris will take the jumper. Ginobili got a piece of it. Duncan right back to Ginobili on the break. Trying to tie it up and does.
Well, he is athletic. I think he's going to be a very good player in this league, Ginobili.
You talking about Ginobili or Lucious Harris, who continues to struggle and throw up bricks? This is a guy who had a horrendous game 4 and comes out with a chance to redeem himself and nothing. Please.
Martin.
Oh, geez.
Big time collision, offensive foul.
Well, that was violent.
Trying to get to that jump hook, which will ultimately be the basis of Kenyon Martin's offensive game. Malik Rose willing to stand his ground. Easy play to call. Just the rotation of the trunk with the elbow out, leading the way without moving the pivot, but the referee will call that every time.
That's the 10th Nets offensive foul in the last 3 games. Spurs don't have any. And as Tom said, that was a wicked one.
He's always going to try to get back to that left hand, so that's what you play him for.
He's going to the rack with it, and he's had a hand on the rebound.
Richard Jefferson was out of bounds, and they're calling a technical foul on the New Jersey Nets for arguing.
It'll be on Jefferson. Jefferson went to the floor trying to get this rebound, and must be something that was said right about there.
He's lying out of bounds, and then he jumps up and gets in Joe Crawford's face, and you can't do that. You have to accept the fact that not every play is going to go your way.
The emotions running high here in the first quarter. Rose at the free throw line.
I still love the fact that technically you have your power forward shooting the ball.
But a bad sign for New Jersey is that there's penetration by San Antonio. Mutombo is forcing misses literally every time. Nobody is getting the weak side rebound. Nobody has got Dikembe Mutombo's backside, and that won't get it done.
So now the Spurs with the inbound, and Speedy Claxton, who just checked in, is going to throw one up there, and he's fouled.
Oh, he was the last option in that out of bounds play.
Let's check in with Michelle.
Brad, Speedy Claxton started a new good luck ritual here in the finals. It's cake from the Continental Arena press room. He noticed that when he had a piece before game 3, he played well, so he had more on Wednesday, and tonight his portion has increased to 5 pieces of chocolate cake with white frosting on top just about an hour before tip-off, guys.
And he's still about 150 pounds sopping wet.
That sounds like something you'd have, Bill.
Role models leading by example.
Speedy Claxton knocks down his first points of the ball game. Log on to the NBA store on NBA.com right now. Pre-order the official 2003 NBA Finals DVD. Love it live on NBA.com.
NBA.com, over 1 million hits a day. 42% of those from outside the continental USA.
Malik Rose picks up a foul, and he and Kenyon Martin do a little jawn. San Antonio leading by 2 with 1:16 remaining.
Greg Popovich was under a lot of criticism about not playing Speedy Claxton in the closing moments of the Game 4 loss. Tony Parker, when he came back in for Speedy, who was brilliant down the stretch. And everybody said, well, why not Speedy? Popovich said, hey, I got to go with my main guy. Zone defense for the first time tonight. How will New Jersey read it?
Give it to Jason Kidd, but he misses the shot and just taps it back to Harris. Now Martin holds it aloft. We're under a minute, first quarter. Aaron Williams, nice pass to Harris.
Beautiful. Now this is what you need to break that zone defense. Flash this guy to the high post. Somebody who can think, catch, make decisions, lay off a dime there. Aaron Williams, what a key performer for Byron Scott.
Well, it doesn't matter how you get it to the middle. You just have to get it to the middle to beat a zone defense. Once you get it to the middle, you make everybody collapse. An easy layup to Lucious Harris. Now whether that be an entry pass into the middle or a dribble drive penetration into the middle, you can't pass it around the exterior of his own defense and hope to beat it consistently.
Game 4, you see Lucious Harris, no points, had 4 rebounds, 3 assists. He had 15 points in the first game, and that was the losing cause, the most lopsided of the 4 games so far.
I'm not sure if that was a foul on that drive. That overhead view we had from a flight cam looked like all ball.
Here's 51 seconds remaining in the quarter. If the Spurs score this trip, they will be over 20 points in the first quarter for the first time in the finals. I don't want to jinx them. They have 19. That was a brick put up by Ginobili.
I love tip rebounds. Jason Kidd, flawless.
He's going to go straight up with it. Second time he's been short. He almost got his own rebound. He did get his own rebound. And now Ginobili. About 2 seconds difference on the shot clock and the game clock. And let's see if the Spurs can get to 20.
And for the first time since game 2, we're seeing a reckless, relentless Jason Kidd being the first one to lose balls.
Claxton holds it out on top with Kidd on him. 7 on the clock to shoot. Speedy with a crossover, trying to leave it for Malik Rose. Shot clock expires. So it appears that our stretch will continue.
A lot of time here. Try to get Jason Kidd on the run. Get a good inbounds pass here. Set a screen.
A lot of time.
I'm talking about the 20 points for the Spurs.
Oh, for the Spurs.
You could get 20 for the Nets.
The Nets had 14 with 5:49 left to go in the quarter. They've scored 3 points.
Kidd stripped by Claxton. Nobody's getting 20.
That was as good a looking shot as any right there.
Joe Crawford, Dick Bavetta, 2 of our officials. The night of an official in the NBA Finals as we hear some court sounds on the technical foul on Richard Jefferson moments ago.
He's out of bounds. Start. T, right here. You stay where you're at, Byron. Technical foul. I am trying to be patient with you. I understand what the game is about.
You can't let him go on his back like that. Come on.
That's I don't think you were very sincere when you said I wasn't sincere. I don't think he was sincere.
One coach upset, one smiling. The one smiling has the lead by 1.
If you're New Jersey, you have to be very concerned about Kenyon Martin. 10 minutes, 0 for 2 shooting. Does have 2 rebounds. How are they going to attack the zone that San Antonio sits back into?
The outside jumper by Harris won't do it. 1 field goal in about 6 minutes. That won't do it either.
Do we have those graphics on speed dial?
But nice pace by Speedy Claxton.
Duncan gets a double team from Rodgers, so the Spurs working around the perimeter. And the jumper is blocked by Kenyon Martin, trying to save it on the baseline. Great individual effort.
Well, as a shooter, you just can't believe that he can get up that quick, that high. And you feel like you have more time than you do, and all of a sudden, he's covered about 7 feet and about 3 feet vertically. And right there, you're like, I got this. No, maybe I don't.
Great effort by Kenyon Martin. Ginobili, reverse layup. He does things a little differently, doesn't he?
He's very unorthodox. He just gets the job done.
I don't think he's unorthodox at all. I think he's extremely sound in every aspect of his game.
Must just be Tom and I that are unorthodox.
I'm just quoting his coach.
Duncan with a rebound. Claxton out there at the point again for Tony Parker, as he was for much of the second half.
Tough matchup for Aaron Williams.
And Claxton knocks it down.
Beautiful recognition by Claxton, who continues to shine, taking all the playing time away from Tony Parker, who's sitting so far from Greg Popovich right now. He's lucky to even be in the building.
Right now the Nets in the midst of their 15th field goal drought of the playoffs of 3 minutes or more. Yikes. Harris trying to end that, doesn't. Duncan's got another rebound and knocked out of bounds by Rodney.
But this is where Jason Kidd has to take over. He was hot early, hit the jumpers. This is what the team leader has to do. You just cannot allow your guys to take shots that they're not going to make.
Well, Jason's hit most of his. The Nets started 5 out of 9. They're 1 for 13 since.
Yummy. I'll take that shot.
Claxton got by Kidd, weaves inside and is fouled.
Oh, he's not. Claxton isn't hesitating. If he has an opening, he's taking it. If he has a jump shot, he's taking it. If somebody comes out on him, he's driving and trying to find somebody. There's not a hesitation as to what to do out there.
One of the adjustments that Byron Scott has made is that he's realized that these Spur players on the perimeter, they like to split double teams. Guys like Claxton, Parker, Jackson, Ginobili. So they've got to get better rotations than Nets.
Duncan out to Jackson, who was hot early, and gives it back to Duncan. Not in time for the shot.
Well, at least you saved yourself a missed field goal attempt.
The Nets are not putting any pressure whatsoever on San Antonio. They've let the crowd sit back down. You got to feed them.
Well, you have to try to dribble drive into this thing. I'm telling you, you just keep passing it around the perimeter like that.
And it's going to get stolen like that. Ginobili on the break.
Wow. Wow.
They need a timeout desperately, New Jersey. Their championship aspirations slipping away.
The lead has gone to the biggest of the night. The Spurs now have run out to a 7-point lead with 9:34 to go in the second quarter. They got that 7-point lead courtesy of the steal by Manu Ginobili on the break. He took it coast to coast, leading to his dunk, a good-looking dunk, but most people think either Malik Rose in Game 3 or Richard Jefferson in Game 4 had the best dunks. Which one was better? There's Rose, and here comes Jefferson in Game 4.
Mine was better. Both of them were worth 2 points, and both of our teams won, so I don't know, you take your pick. Mine was over a better shot blocker, so I think mine was a little better.
RJ was the best. At first I did, oh my God. Then I said it's over because he just answered everything. Malik just went up and down. RJ took off and stayed in one hand like a monkey swinging to the twist, so it was great.
only Mutombo could put it that way.
I'm sorry, though. He doesn't get to vote.
He's trying to distance himself.
Of course,
absolutely. He got facialed by Malik Rose.
Of course, he's going to say the other one was better. But Dikembe Mutombo, the second leading shot blocker by average per game in NBA history.
Only D could put it that way, though. That was great. Here's Speedy Claxton with a steal.
These guys, the Nets, are just flat floundering against his zone.
Oh, now Kenyon Martin picks up a cheap foul, a second one after the steal by Claxton. Speedy showing that speed right through Kenyon Martin, and then Martin fouls him.
Everybody talks about this was going to be a series between Jason Kidd and Tony Parker. Speedy Claxton in the last 2 halves of this game has been the best point guard out there.
Jackson gave up an open 3.
Oh, Kidd's been pretty good early in this game.
Speedy is going to be a free agent as well.
Here he is on the baseline. Cross-court pass, Ginobili with 2 on the shot clock. Missed it. And Claxton almost came up with a steal, but going to pick up a foul as Jason Kidd got the rebound.
And Kenyon Martin, who's taken off the headband, hopefully that's loosened up the blood flow to the brain, but he's getting into it unnecessarily with Joe Crawford. That won't get it done. Can the Nets capitalize with Duncan on the bench now, getting this easy rest for him?
Martin and Rose banging down low as Williams goes inside. Rebound is going to be Jackson. There was numbers momentarily, but the Nets knock it away and get it back.
So good defensively, Jason Kidd.
Rodgers. And he's fouled by Ginobili.
The Nets' offensive style is all wrong. They're trying to play one-on-one basketball, and that's not their game. Their game is pass it around, and when it's not working and you're up against the league's premier defense in San Antonio, you've got to start moving your body. Dribble handoffs. Don't try to make a play that you're not skilled enough to make off your own dribble. Get moving, lay the ball off. Don't try to make the final assist every single time.
Kittles back in. Kittles, Kidd, and Harris now 3-guard setup basically for the Nets, along with Williams and Rodgers, whose second free throw is off the mark.
Well, that's the time, if you're the Nets, you got to take advantage of when Tim Duncan is sitting out. You can't let him stay even. You can't let him extend the lead when their superstars out of the game. And the offensive foul on the Spurs and Malik Rose, I believe.
Yeah, that's his second.
You got to take advantage of this. You can't let the secondary players be in there. And you see the shooting. Is that a 0?
That is a 0.
Wow. I thought maybe my LASIK surgery got mad on me.
They've missed their last 10 shots.
And now the Spurs back into man-to-man, changing it up every time, forcing the Spurs, the Nets to think about it.
Rodgers for 3, off the mark. Ginobili all alone for the rebound. Claxton got an open look. Aaron Williams will clear it.
Got to go. Got to run. See if you can find something. If you don't get a layup, get something off the secondary break.
And now Kidd trying to back Claxton in, and the ball's kicked by Malik Rose.
The ability to double team for San Antonio when you got David Robinson backing everything up at the basket area, and now they come back with Tim Duncan fresh. A nice rest for him. The lead is at 6. Duncan's got decent numbers right now. 7 boards. You're going to get a lot of rebounds when you're 7 feet tall and the other team can't make a shot. Now they're back in the zone.
Yeah, it would be enticing if I'm Coach Popovich not to stay in this thing until they show me they can beat it.
Williams finally breaks the field goal drought of over 7 minutes.
Well, you take it to the middle. You get paid off. You get paid off when you take it to the middle. You pass around, stand around, no penetration. You're not going to have success.
Zone defense of their own for the Nets right now.
First field goal of the second quarter for New Jersey. Jackson's all alone for 3. In and out. Here comes Jason Kidd. Kidd behind the back, but throws it away. Claxton got in the passing lane, and now Kittles does likewise.
Speedy Claxton. He's not only fast physically, but mentally as well.
That was a great move by Kidd right up until the end. That was sweet. That was sweet. That wasn't sweet. And Speedy Claxton just, hey, right place, right time. Thank you very much.
As soon as the other guy jumps in the air to pass, back off and get in the lanes.
Jackson almost threw it away.
I'm watching Coach Popovich over there. Steve Jackson's like driving in the middle. He almost throws it away. And you see the head just kind of like, whew, boy, that was close.
Well, one of the problems with Steven Jackson for the Spurs is that oftentimes at the end of the game, you have to ask yourself, was he better for our team or was he better for the other team? But David Robinson continues to excel in this series, averaging 11.5 points and 58% shooting from the field. Those 11.5 points are the best of any series in this spring's playoffs.
That's his first point of the night for the 14-year veteran, playing his final either 2 or 3 NBA games before retirement.
After 14 seasons, I was glad to see him call Tony Parker out a little bit after Game 4. Saying, what's going on here? Got to be more serious. It's the finals.
I told you about the field goal drought that actually lasted 7 minutes and 12 seconds. So they have 1 field goal in almost, well, over 8 now.
Poor spacing for the Nets.
Boy.
And Claxton, nice defense on Kittles, and he gets the outlet from Duncan. Speedy leaves it for Robinson, who lays it in.
That's a nice leave.
Player of the game is Speedy Claxton. And look at the Spurs coming together here, forcing Byron Scott to take yet another timeout.
And the lead has stretched to 8 now with 6:09 remaining in the half. David Robinson on the break. That all started with defense by Speedy Claxton. Then Tim Duncan snatched the ball out of the air and got it right back to Speedy, as you'll see it here.
Well, that shot was just sick. Looks like they'd never played against this zone before. Suck the defense in. Big guy keeps running. They just lay it off to him, right? Boop. and they got a 7-footer against 2 smaller guys, easy bucket.
You see the look from high above, and then you saw it from ground level, and now it's an 8-point ball game. It would match their best start ever with 9 straights. That's tomorrow on ABC, 4 o'clock.
See how many times during this possession they actually get the ball to the paint, because that's what they need to do. Kick ball. Let's reset the shot clock to 14 seconds. See how many times they get the ball into the blue area. The key. That's the blue area right in the middle of your TV screen. Instead of just passing it around. See if they can dribble drive or pass it in there. But if they just keep passing it around that perimeter, there you go.
They're inside. And it's blocked by Duncan, and the outlet to Jackson. If he can track it down, not quite.
Another effect of the zone defense utilized so wonderfully by Greg Popovich is that it's taken Dikembe Mutombo out of the game.
Spurs leading the Nets by 8, under 6 minutes in the half. Let's check in with Stuart Scott. Stu?
Brad, we see him at the Garden for Knicks games. He came through the Lincoln Tunnel. I thought it's either Knicks or Nets, Chris Rock.
Well, there's no Knicks game to go to tonight.
Really?
Really? Really? I checked. I went to the Garden. There wasn't anything going on, so I came over here.
Now, I know a lot of celebrities like going to games, but I know that you are a true basketball nut and an analyst, so play analyst with me. If I'm doing play-by-play and I say, so Chris, Nets aren't shooting well, what do you think their problem is?
The Nets never shoot well. The Nets, you know, they score for turnovers and fast breaks. San Antonio doesn't shoot well. It's like Pat Riley is coaching both teams right now. Everybody, it's all defense.
Can we come back to you in the second half, Coach?
Yes, you can come back to me in the second half. We need Richard Jefferson to score some points. That's what the Nets need right now.
Coach Rock coming back in the second half. Coach Rock also going on tour soon, Brad.
Yeah.
All right, he almost got 2 from Aaron Williams.
It's the type of shots for New Jersey. Every shot is coming off 1 pass. There's no 2, 3, 4 passes to get a shot. Fortunately, Aaron Williams, they call him Train, is able to be active enough and mobile enough to flash into that paint area. Jason Kidd with a beautiful post-entry pass and a strong attempted finish, which earns him a trip to the line.
Malik Rose comes back in. David Robinson will sit down. Aaron Williams, without a doubt, the quietest of the Nets. He got a couple of free throws.
And where would they be without Aaron Williams?
He played very well the other night. Had 8 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 block shots. And he cuts the lead down to 6. And we're under 5.5 minutes in the second quarter.
Well, that's one thing that's great if you're a Nets fan or a player for the Nets. You've been stinking it up for a quarter and a half, and you're down 6 points.
Bowen, tough shot by Bruce Bowen.
Yeah, wide open jump shots. Can't get those to go, but let me go ahead and throw something in. Look at that.
There's the Nets quarter.
When you combine your fouls and turnovers, and it's more than your points, you've done something wrong, or you have a lot of fouls and turnovers, one or the other.
But that basket by Bruce Bowen has to bring a sigh of relief from Popovich. Bowen was 2 for 14 in the 2 previous games in New Jersey. Wild play, Aaron Williams.
Jefferson double teamed. I don't know if he's going to get a shot away. He did. And Kerry Kittles kept it alive. Now Williams trying to save it and does. He'll get a 3rd chance.
A lot of time. Reset of the shot clock. Get your offense set.
Jefferson. Whoa. Hard foul.
So resilient, so young, Richard Jefferson. The youngest player on this net team.
And a great job, I thought, right there. Well, nice job taking it to the hole. And I thought a nice job by Bennett Salvador and Dick Pavetta looking at each other, saying, do you think that was a flagrant foul? They both shook their head, concurred that he was going for the ball, and just sent him to the line for 2.
Only 1 point tonight for Jefferson after the 18-point, 10-rebound effort in Game 4.
He and David Robinson were the only players to shoot over 50% in Game 4 in what has become the 3rd worst shooting NBA Finals in history.
Well, you realize with 3 points now, he's their 3rd leading scorer.
Here's a press, a zone press, 2-2-1.
No problem for the Spurs. They get it up to Bowen, and now Duncan with Williams on it. Bowen will go up the outside. Kenyon Martin tipped it to Jefferson.
But again, with Jason Kidd having to come back to get the outlet pass, they're not going to be able to get out in transition.
Kenyon Martin squares up on Rose. Up and over. Martin's first basket.
Timeout, Greg Popovich. You cannot believe the defensive breakdowns.
Little net surge, but the Spurs lead pivotal game 5 by 4. Mike Tirico, Verizon Wireless halftime report, joined by Sean Elliott and Rick Carlisle, coach of the year a couple of years ago, 50 wins this year. Nets have come back, but why did the Spurs get the early lead in your mind?
Great defense. I like how Claxton has settled this team and a good job of changing with their zone and man-to-man defenses. Important close to the quarter here, Mike.
All right, more from Rick and a great sit-down. Robin Roberts and Kobe Bryant. Kobe talks about something in his personal life that you haven't heard him talk about before. See you in a few minutes, guys.
All right, fellas, we'll see you in just under 4 minutes as we check in with Michelle Tafoya.
Brad, Popovich came right to the bench during that timeout. Didn't sit in his own seat, sat on the bench facing his players who were standing around him. And he spent the entire timeout chastising the guys. He wants them to play smarter, take better shots. He's very upset about the continued turnovers, and he says our bad shot selection is fueling the Nets offense. Brad?
He's put Tony Parker back in there, along with Rose and Duncan, Ginobili. And Duncan off the feed from Rose.
The inability of the Nets to handle the pick and roll. This time you have your power forward executing the pick and roll. Popovich was irate, and his team is winning, and comfortably so.
That was the first field goal for Tim Duncan in this quarter.
Wouldn't you just switch that? Power forward, center, pick and roll?
You would think.
Kenyon Martin squares up and misses straight away. Williams, nice hustle. Hit the deck trying to save it on the baseline.
He has been fantastic. Aaron Williams' effort, his hustle, the numbers don't tell you how important he's been to the Nets.
And he gets a round of applause for exactly what you're talking about.
Tim Duncan is just always in the correct position. And he's so big and so strong and powerful, but everybody else is just helpless. Nice ball fake, Ginobili.
Nice.
Here's Duncan in the paint over Williams. Not quite enough, but it's tipped in by Rose.
And off the schneid. I think he's like 0 for his last 10. He's like, yeah, I got one to go.
He'll take it any way he can get it right now.
He was in historical territory for a long while there, Malik Rose. Right now, the Spurs are outworking and outthinking the Nets.
Jefferson, nice spin inside, didn't finish though, and Duncan pulls it down, and here comes the big fella on the dribble again.
I love the way he dribbles.
Ginobili on the baseline, back to Rose. Didn't get 2 in a row. Martin got a piece of that.
Numbers.
They've got to get back, the Spurs.
Kidd and Kittles.
Inside the arc. Blocking foul against San Antonio.
It's on Bowen, and that's 3. Well, he knows that he's heading to the bench.
But he's going to the bench.
He's looking for a place not close to Popovich is what he's looking for.
Well, Popovich hasn't even decided to substitute yet.
Meanwhile, Kittles is at the free throw line.
Why would you ever do that? You are asking the coach to take yourself out here. That's not a good thing.
Well, he knew he had 3 fouls. He had to sit down. Tiger Woods has won an amazing 37 tournaments on the PGA Tours. Never finished better than 16th at the Buick Classic. He'll be challenged again this year by a field of the PGA Tour's best. ABC's coverage of the Buick Classic begins next Saturday, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. Both free throws good by Kerry Kittles.
You think he really drives a Buick?
Probably a fleet of them.
What kind of defensive stand can the Nets come with in the last 2 minutes, 10 seconds?
Jackson got an open 3. And the rebound is Jefferson. Here comes Jefferson and Kidd and Kittles.
Jackson was so good early. Like Jason Kidd, both of them cooled off considerably.
Well, that's where the Nets made their run last game, the last couple minutes.
Jefferson, nice move into the paint. Rod Thorne, President General Manager, looking on as his team has closed it to 4.
Just overpowering Tony Parker. That's a tough matchup, one that will not work for San Antonio.
And Kenyon Martin almost came up with a steal. Parker looks up at the shot clock. Kittles on him as he was in game 4. The teardrop just won't go for Tony Parker. Martin clears it.
Jefferson in transition.
Nice entry pass. Collins missed with a left hand. Jefferson puts it back, but a whistle before the shot.
They're calling Tony Parker once again. With Jefferson getting out in transition, Parker's the only one back. The previous possession, it was Richard Jefferson just in the post, lowering his shoulder and just jumping in the air, and Parker, all he can do is bail out.
So now Jefferson to the free throw line, where he's 3 for 3 tonight.
Oh, without free throws and getting to the line, these guys would be sunk. And they're doing a good job at the free throw line, getting to the free throw line and making their free throws.
They only have 3 field goals in the quarter. Jefferson missed the second, but there's another field goal.
They're right there.
That they are with a minute and change. They cut it down to 1.
San Antonio continues to make this so hard on themselves.
Here's a lob to Duncan. Heck of a catch. And he's fouled.
Well, I love that. And right here, that's just, that's being lazy. It's what that is. There's no
lack
way.
of preparation.
Yeah.
Failing to prepare, preparing to fail. Mutombo ecstatic.
And the shooter should never get his miss unless he just shoots a stud off the back iron.
Foul was on Collins, and it sends Tim Duncan to the free throw line for the first time tonight. And Tim has done much better from the line the last couple of ball games than he did earlier. Kevin Willis will check in. Malik Rose goes out.
And Rodney Rogers is going to give Kenyon Martin a chance to rest a little bit, but also to keep him from picking up a foul here in the last minute of action as the Nets have come all the way back.
Duncan with 11 points. Snapping that 7-0 run.
Duncan is so fluid and so smooth. You forget how big he is. Easily over 7 feet tall, so broad at the shoulders.
12 points and 10 rebounds for Tim Duncan here in the first half. Rogers for 3.
Oh, my goodness.
An air ball that goes to Jackson. 3-point Spurs lead as they bring it down. And we're approaching a half minute. Tony Parker wide open, and he knocked this one down. Tony Parker has been struggling the last game and a half. Hits a huge 3 there, and the lead goes right back to 6.
And Rodney Rogers spending all his time complaining to the refs about his inability to make shots.
Jason Kidd hot early. Missed that one. Willis snatches down the rebound. And the Spurs will have the final look.
What a valuable reserve, Kevin Willis.
Yeah. I mean, just, you know, the knowledge that he has as well, helping younger guys.
How about the level of professionalism?
Down to 5 seconds remaining in a half. Duncan will get the last chance, it appears. On the baseline, Tim Duncan, and he knocked it down just before the horn sound.
That guy's pretty good.
He's got 14 points to go with 10 rebounds, and he hit it just before the shot clock and the game clock went off, and they're making sure right now as Joe Crawford's over there having a look at the replay, and we'll take another look at it. You're going to see this shot go before the lights go off on the backboard. There's Duncan, and there it goes, and it's in. 42-34 the halftime score. San Antonio out in front as they close the second quarter on a 7-0 run just when the Nets had made it a close ball game. Welcome back, Brad Nessler, Bill Walton, Tom Tolbert. Tell you what, guys, a couple of field goal droughts that added up to 10.5 minutes in the first half for the Nets. That won't do it.
No, well, if I'm Greg Popovich, I throw that zone at him and say, go ahead and try and beat me, and they haven't been able to do it. They've been just throwing the ball around the outside, guys not shooting well. Richard Jefferson, after having a very good game last game, not getting it done. Kittles not getting it done. And then Kenyon Martin, you can just tell the energy is not there. The fluid seems to be wearing him down a little bit. But one of those guys, I don't expect all 3 of them, but one of them has to step it up here in the second half.
But if you're San Antonio, this is where you go for the kill.
Yeah.
This is where the favored team comes out and establishes order in the universe. This is where you ride your MVP, Tim Duncan, all the way to the title, because this is the game. This is the final 24 minutes that just puts the New Jersey Nets out of this picture. The step-back jumpers, going with the pick and roll, moving absolutely magnificently without the ball, and then at the buzzer to end the second quarter and the half, it gives all the momentum and the flow to the San Antonio Spurs. That's what the MVP is all about.
Duncan's got 14 points, 10 rebounds as we head to Michelle Tafoya. Michelle?
Well, couldn't help but ask Popovich about Tony Parker and Speedy Claxton. And he said if Tony continues to play like he played the other night, he will definitely use Speedy Claxton down the stretch. As for the defense, even though he hates the zone, he loves it against these Nets. Now over to Stu Scott.
Scott was very, very simple. He told his team, you got to shoot with confidence. You got to shoot in rhythm. For more, let's go to our colleague, our new colleague, Chris Rock.
Well, it looks like the Nets now. They need to set some picks for Kerry, Kittles, best shooter. Jason Kidd needs to pass more, shoot less. Jason Kidd right now is taking more shots than 50 Cent. Back to you.
All right, Chris. Nice to have just one more guy with us, isn't it? Jason Kidd started off so hot, and then 1 for 9 since that great opening.
I think everything Chris Rock made perfect sense.
Well, they're going to start off with the man-to-man here.
Well, they're going to change it up every single possession.
That's not the way they wanted the first possession to go.
Well, what they've been doing a lot of the times is on misses, maybe you don't have time to get your zone set up, so you go back, play man-to-man. On makes, you come back and fall down and back into the zone.
Nice step out by Jason Collins.
Duncan gives it right back to Jackson. And Kenyon Martin with a rebound.
We're off and running.
Jason Kidd goes straight up with it and got it just like he started at the beginning of the ball game. 14 for Kidd.
I would give it to Duncan literally every possession, and the times he doesn't touch it, David Robinson would have it in those opportunities.
Duncan gives it to Bowen, who drives the baseline, and he's fouled.
Well, the defender, I think Richard Jefferson, thought Duncan was going to come over and set the pick. So he hedged a little bit, jumping out, and that's when Bowen took off on the baseline.
So Jefferson picks up his second foul as Bowen goes to the free throw line for the first time in the finals.
San Antonio gets into their offense so much easier, more fluidly than the Nets. The Nets don't have that guy who can pull a squad together in a half-court game. And that's the challenge and the growth curve and pattern for Kenyon Martin and Richard Jefferson in years to come.
And let's remember when we looked at that stat, his first 2 free throws in the finals, he had 24 free throws against the Mavericks because Nelly was whacking him for just being on the court.
Yep, they were fouling him in the first quarter. A hack-a-Bowen and didn't really work very well. Kidd got Parker in the air, blocked by Duncan. Third block shot by Tim Duncan.
On a pace to set another NBA record, Tim Duncan, for block shots in a series. He's averaging 5 per game.
He's had 2 games with 7 each, 3 tonight. Here he is offensively against Collins. On the baseline. And he goes down as he's fouled.
What a move. Turn and face against a big guy who can't move with you. But the defense. He has to go by, first of all, the perimeter defender, then David Robinson is there, and then Tim Duncan. But when you turn and use that inside pivot, fake one way, come back the other, and get in the air from a throwdown, there's virtually no stopping that.
Tim's numbers, a double-double again, as always. And he has his first point of the third quarter. Back-to-back MVPs for Tim Duncan. This season averaging over 23 points and right at 13 rebounds and 4 block shots a game. He missed the second. Out of bounds to the Nets.
This is Tim Duncan's 13th consecutive double-double in this year's playoffs.
At 58 in the regular season. There's the zone again by San Antonio.
And Bowen's the key to that zone. He's got to slide down from people. And there you go. He can loosen up the zone by hitting a couple outside shots.
The amazing thing about Bowen on that zone, he's standing at the free throw line, and he's the point man, and New Jersey has no answer for it.
Parker sliding through traffic, has to give it up, and he threw it away. 3-on-2 for the Nets, and Jefferson trying to go over Robinson, and Duncan pulls it down.
Well, right now I think the brain's getting in the way of some of the Net players. They're thinking too much, or excuse me, of Tony Parker. I think his brain's getting in the way a little bit. Just play, just react.
Jackson trying to give it back to Duncan.
Timing.
And Duncan lost the handle. Another Spurs turnover, another 3-on-2. This time Kidd does it himself. Jason Kidd's got 16. The lead's cut down to 5.
A scramble, wild, and chaotic game favors the Nets. San Antonio is much more disciplined, much more methodical and calculating in their attack. And this is why.
Tim Duncan gets a double team. They move it around the perimeter, and now Jackson leaves it for Duncan.
And they're not just settling for the outside shots. If they have it, wide open, uncontested, they'll take it. If not, let's penetrate and see if we can make something happen.
This is the first game since game 1 that we've seen this determination to just dominate the paint and pound it inside for San Antonio. They know how close they are to eliminating this net squad.
And from floor cam, Duncan up and through.
It's amazing how effortless his jump is.
Jason Kidd got a three. 47-43. That awakens the crowd. Tim Duncan on the right block now. Backing in on Kenyon Martin. Gives it up. Bowen stripped. Now Robinson will take the outside jumper. And David Robinson knocks down from outside to make it 49-43.
David's the only guy other than Duncan out there who's not hesitating. They've got an injury down here.
Richard Jefferson stayed down, went down and stayed down.
He got popped in the face.
Checking to make sure he's got all his teeth, I think. Let's take another look. He's the guy that made the run at Bowen in the corner.
Whoa, oh, the elbow to the face. I know from personal experience that it's not a good idea to play defense with your face.
You are living proof. So the timeout as they take a look at Jefferson.
Anytime you want to relive that sensation, just let me know, okay?
Richard Jefferson is arguing for a foul here. He ran into the guy's elbow.
We understand Roger Clemens has just gotten his 300th win with the Yankees tonight, and we congratulate him. It took a few tries, but the Rocket is in the upper echelon now. Congratulations. And the final over the Cardinals. Interleague play 5-2. Roger Clemens' 300 victory across the river at Yankee Stadium.
That's really almost tough to fathom how good you have to be for how long you have to be to get 300 victories. That's amazing.
So Jefferson on the sideline attending to his lower lip, and he got some blood there, and obviously was upset when he went to the bench, threw the towel. They're going, the officials, Dick Bavetta says they're letting them keep the 20-second timeout because they're going basically with the injury control, and that's why the game was stopped. So no timeout taken by the Nets.
Get the Spurs just hands up all the way around on that zone defense.
Kittles inside to Collins. Collins trying to spin around David Robinson and drew a foul.
Nice entry pass, and even nicer by Jason Collins, making himself available, stepping in front of David Robinson, giving the passer an angle to pass to.
David Robinson can't believe this foul was called on him. He's just standing there allowing Jason Collins, the second-year player, to catch the ball wherever he wants, figuring he can send it back at will.
Collins hits the free throw. Speedy Claxton's going to check back in for the Spurs as we check in with Michelle Tafoya.
Well, when I spoke with Greg Popovich at halftime about switching point guards, he facetiously said to me, why don't you have Bill Walton and Tom Tolbert tell me when I ought to do it? They seem to know how I should coach this game. Have them tell you when I should make that switch. Then he said, I'll just go by feel, and obviously he felt it, guys. What do you think?
All you got to do is ask.
I'm all for Speedy Claxton right now. He's been playing so well. Give him a chance for his dreams to come true.
Here he is against Kittles on the baseline. Robinson flashes with Collins, and Robinson picks up another one. This is number 4.
New Jersey has to be able to capitalize on this. The nice trap. And then Jason Collins just runs over and gets underneath David Robinson, clearly outside the arc, and an easy play to call once again.
So Robinson sits with 4 personals. 49-45. Lead down to 4 again. He won it. That goes, and it does. Jason Kidd's 3 makes it a 1-point ball game.
Movement without the ball. Support Tim Duncan.
Duncan feeds Jackson, and off of him, out of bounds to the nets.
Jackson's got to shoot that ball. He's wide open. Popovich irate, coming with Ginobili immediately, and Jackson to the bench.
Here's Jason Kidd, his 4th three-pointer of the night. 49-48.
Well, let's see if they can get over that hump. They got a 7-0 run in the end of the second quarter to give up a 7-0 run. You got to take advantage of this right now. Get the lead while the crowd's behind you.
For the lead. .24 for Jason Kidd, and the Nets are back in front.
Nice pass.
Claxton to Malik Rose, and he hits the open jumper.
Right back at him. And look.
You know, I would put Bowen right now on Jason Kidd because they want to get him down in the low post. They're just going to swing this around and dump it in one more time.
There he is, and Speedy Claxton's given away about 5 or 6 inches in height to Kidd.
Great defense, Steven Jackson.
Harris crossing the lane.
Even better defense by Tim Duncan.
Now Claxton bringing it for the Spurs. Bowen for 3. Duncan somehow got that rebound and puts it in.
What a rebounder. Never brings his arms down below his shoulder.
Well, the Nets go on these runs, and they're quick strike runs, but the Spurs just keep plodding away. 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Just keep grinding and grinding and wearing you down.
It's a matter of sustaining leads for the Nets. Kidd been on fire. This one hit by Claxton, but it comes to Collins.
This is my dream. This is what it's all about, is to try to win a championship.
The only thing on his mind is winning a championship.
I wouldn't want to leave, but, you know, funny things happen. I would have never thought I would have been traded from Dallas. Win a championship, I'll be right here. This would be home, New Jersey.
Jason Kidd has always been the bridesmaid, never the bride in the playoffs, but he's like the bride of Frankenstein right now as far as San Antonio is concerned, because with Kenyon Martin still feeling the effects of the flu, Richard Jefferson on the bench with a fat lip, Jason Kidd has said, this is my ball game and my team, and he has lit it up. He's hit 12 of the last 16 points in this quarter for the Nets. He has 24 to lead the way, and remember, Kenyon Martin basically has been the most consistent Net so far. You can see averaging almost 20 points a ball game in the playoffs, but not tonight.
Their leading scorer, Kenyon Martin, and leading rebounder, not able to get it done tonight because of the illness.
Kidd missed that one, and Rose with the rebound.
Question is, who's coming along for the ride? Duncan's playing well, Kidd's playing well. Can anybody get on the train with him?
Speedy Claxton's playing extremely well.
Speedy missed the outside jumper there. And Rose battling it. And Kittles comes up with it. Harris in there around a Kenyon Martin pick, trying to take it all the way to the hole. Kenyon Martin tips it in.
You have to deny penetration, and with now Kerry Kittles switching over to try to guard Speedy Claxton the way he did Tony Parker, we'll see how that plays out for Byron Scott.
Ginobili's in there with Duncan, Rose, and Bowen, and Claxton. Duncan trying to find the handle, jump ball with Kenyon Martin. Let's check in with Michelle.
During that last timeout, Greg Popovich getting on his team for standing there and not contesting shots in the zone. He said, you think this is baseball where you go up 7-0, you're going to win the game? You think they're going to miss every shot against our zone? Don't get lazy like you think someone's going to give you this championship. If you want it, go get it. If not, go have dinner. It starts now.
Wow. For the Nets, it does right here as they can regain the lead.
Well, it'd be nice to see if your Nets get him going a little bit.
Kenyon Martin. Duncan contesting on the baseline. It comes out to Kidd. Still 10 on the shot clock. It never touched the rim. That one does. He's fouled. He wanted that shot badly, but he did draw the foul from Speedy Claxton.
Jason Kidd is punishing Speedy Claxton inside, who's the same size as Tony Parker. Not quite sure why Greg Popovich hasn't come with a Bruce Bowen or a Ginobili. Some size and strength to keep Jason Kidd out of the paint.
Jason Kidd, the man of the hour, can tie the ball game with his free throw. This is his first trip to the line tonight. He had 5 crucial free throws down the stretch in the Game 4 win. Tune into NBA TV following each finals game for complete live post-game coverage, including press conferences, interviews, and analysis. A place to turn for around-the-clock coverage of the finals is NBA TV. Jason Kidd trying to give his team the lead, looking for his 26th point. He's got both. Nets in front. 54-53.
They're beating the Spurs to loose balls right now. They're scrapping, they're getting second opportunities, and getting to the free throw line.
Kenyon Martin head-to-head defensively against Duncan.
That's going to be a foul on Martin.
Uh-oh, and it's a technical on top of it.
What is he thinking? It was the easiest play of the night.
And the reaction is going to get you the automatic technical here in a second after the personal foul is called. The two bumping down low, and then the shoulder block there, and Kenyon Martin, and the hand's going to come up. And
the better the player, the smarter the player, the smoother he is in those situations. The guys who are wildly swinging their arms and gesturing and bumping and coming back, huffing and puffing, they're the ones that get called for the fouls all the time.
So that evens it up with the technical free throw at 54 apiece, and possession is San Antonio's. We're under 3.5 minutes in the third quarter. Game 5 of the NBA Finals. Duncan baseline fadeaway. And Richard Jefferson pushed off to get the rebound. And now the fans are really letting the officials have it.
Well, Rose did a nice job.
Another easy play to call. At what point does it?
I'll tell you what, too. He does a nice job here, and that's a foul. A little push. But you know what? If you yell sometimes, scream sometimes, you draw attention to yourself, looks like a foul, get the foul. What is going on here?
An offensive, no, Tim. They're calling this on Kenyon Martin, who has to walk over and have a discussion with his coach.
Kenyon's just trying to walk away from everything right now so as to not react to the foul call inside.
Well, he's been battling him all series long, and you know, I've seen worse, and he's done that all series long, and he's probably thinking, where's the consistency?
He gets 2 fouls in 21 seconds as Duncan knocks down the free throw. And that's 20 now for Tim.
In the 5th game of the NBA Finals, no one likes the refs.
So the foul trouble for Kenyon Martin, which has been prevalent throughout this series, continues. 4 fouls again. And he's had 4 by the third quarter every game.
It's an important stretch right here for the Nets. The crowd booing the officials. You get a couple quick fouls, 3 quick fouls. You know, don't lose your head. Come down, take quick shots, try to get it back, and end up losing over the last 5 minutes, which you've gained.
3 minutes in the third. Harris trying to feed inside, and a whistle and a foul.
After 14 years, you find out there's a whole lot of challenges. And I think that's kind of what we all live for.
David Robinson down to 2 games and a quarter or less. Our Miller Lite storyline in this one as we approach the end of the third quarter. Tim Duncan has been the man again for San Antonio, 21 points and 12 rebounds. Jason Kidd has done it for New Jersey with 26. Believe it or not, there is not another player in double figures for either team. So the two stars are holding up their end. It's 56-54 as we check in with Stuart Scott.
Brad, during the timeout, Kenyon Martin said to at least 3 different teammates, how is that a foul? He kept throwing his hands up in the air, shaking his head, asking himself, how is that a foul? The team's trainer actually went up, grabbed Kenyon's hand, didn't say a word, just looked at him. Now, they're going to leave Kenyon in the game, but they're going to put him on Malik Rose to try and keep him out of foul trouble. Still to come, the Nets coaches say Dikembe Mutombo, when they're not sure.
We'll keep our eye on that as we're under 3 minutes of the third quarter. Well, it's right now, Stu, as a matter of fact, as Mutombo's just gotten up, getting ready to remove the warm-up.
How about zone defense for the Nets?
Spurs now haven't had a field goal in 3 minutes. Duncan over Collins. There's one.
7 foot tall, being able to fade away, moving to your right from beyond the free throw line. Yikes.
23 for Duncan, 26 for Kidd.
Oh, that's a grab. Boy, what are you doing out there?
That's 4 on Claxton.
Duncan hasn't had the explosive game since game 1 when he had well in excess of 30 points. But games 2, 3, and 4, he had 19, 21, and 23. Today, the critical game 5, the MVP performance with still a quarter to go. 9 for 15 shooting.
He had 24 of his 32 in that second half of game 1. Harris with his second point tonight. Tony Parker's coming back in. Speedy Claxton's going to sit, and he has 4 fouls. Speedy's played enough to pick up 4 fouls. Gets a pat on the back from his coach.
I think whatever team in this last 14.5 minutes has a secondary player that steps up, gives you 6-8 points in this last quarter, couple minutes, is going to be the team that walks out of here with a 3-2 lead.
I disagree. I think it'll be either Duncan or Kidd that decides this.
Now we've got 14 minutes to figure out that story as Ginobili drives the paint and he's fouled. Jason Kidd, that's only his first. The Spurs, remember the first 2 quarters, they finished quarter number 1 on a 10-4 run in the last 5.5 minutes. And in the second quarter, in the last minute, they went 7 straight points. So I don't know if they can do that 3 quarters in a row, but we might be about to find out as Ginobili hits his 7th point. Vote for the NBA Finals MVP. Brought to you by Verizon Wireless. That's how to go about it. Ginobili got the roll on the second. Manu's got 8, and the lead is 3 again with 2 minutes remaining third quarter.
When's the last time somebody didn't go to the free throw line?
But which big man is going to attack this zone for New Jersey? Mutombo, not his strength. Kenyon Martin having a subpar game. Where's Aaron Williams?
Nice penetration and dish.
Kidd, not this time on the outside jumper, and Bowen the long rebound. Tony Parker back in there. Mutombo now on Duncan.
Swing that ball through against those arms. Get to the free throw line.
Ginobili, that's the spot he gave up the 3 to end game 4. 4 on the shot clock. Tony Parker, and he finally got one of those to go.
What a touch. I think the Spurs players are hurting themselves when they come to a stop when Duncan kicks it out. They're all pump faking. They're all hesitating. Attack right away. Pull the trigger.
Mutombo, 3 seconds.
3 seconds.
Well, the reason you don't attack right away is you want guys to fly out at you. And when they fly out at you, then you make it a 5-on-4 situation.
But why would you fly out at a guy who's not going to shoot the ball from the perimeter? How many outside shots have even been taken in this game?
I agree.
They're trying to get to the hoop.
No, I agree, but the Nets are still flying out at them. It would be interesting to see. I'd be interested to see if Parker get involved in this game a little bit.
Duncan, we know he's involved. He's looking there and trying to get it down to Rose, and does.
What a pass.
Well, if you're the defense and you see an offensive player staring at a spot on the court for 4 seconds, when you turn around and look at that spot and think, you know, maybe somebody's open.
Timeout, Nets.
Nets take a timeout with 43 seconds remaining. NBA Finals Game 5 on ABC Sports. Brad Nessler, Bill Walton, Tom Tolbert, Michelle Tafoya, Stuart Scott, and Mike Tirico and his gang all here with you with 43 seconds left third quarter.
The temptation with the shot clock right now and game clock is to go 2 for 1 for New Jersey. But with Jason Kidd really being the only guy playing out there, the rest of the team stinking it up, I think you run a big risk of taking a quick shot and try to go 2 for 1 here, because if San Antonio comes right back and scores, you could be in a deflated situation.
Yeah, I always go 2 for 1.
Jefferson underneath. Duncan blocked the shot, his 4th of the night.
How about driving it, Duncan, and then passing off to someone else, like Duncan's man, who should be wide open.
10 seconds on the shot clock, 15 on the game clock to end the 3rd quarter. Parker crossover on Harris, and he'll take the jump shot and got it. Tony Parker's hit 2 big shots, 1 a teardrop and 1 an outside jumper, and the lead is 9.
And Kevin Willis, the first one up off the bench, encouraging the youngest guy in the squad.
Kidd, long range to end the quarter, and that is it. The big question is San Antonio about ready to knock New Jersey out? Still a game 6 coming up on Sunday in San Antonio, we know that, but the lead is 9 as we head to the 4th quarter. And let's check in with Stewart.
Brad, ever since Dikembe Mutombo came in, the Spurs have gone on an 8-0 run. They've now taken Dikembe out, putting Aaron Williams. They say with that zone defense that the Spurs are running, Dikembe can't score. They need a score right now, down by 9 points. Back to you.
They get a break there as Ginobili picks up the foul. There's the closing out of quarters that I was talking about going to the break. A 13-3 run in the last 3.5 minutes of the 3rd, much like the 1st and 2nd quarter closeouts.
And the zone defense with Bruce Bowen standing inside the key at the top.
Big shot by Harris. They need more of that.
Who's going to guard Tim Duncan? Aaron Williams faces that unenviable test. What a pass.
And Parker with a reverse layup off the glass.
That is a great look right there and a nice finish. But I like what Byron Scott's done. I like the fact that he brought Aaron Williams in.
Jefferson throws it in.
Parker's feeling it.
Leaves it for Rose, and Rose scores inside.
Parker's just floating over the court right now. He's found his game, got his confidence.
And in the last 3 trips up and down the court, we finally had 3 more double-figure scores. Jefferson, Parker, and Rose.
And they've got Bruce Bowen guarding Jason Kidd now.
Williams wildly over Duncan.
Wow,
that play's just not going to work. Aaron Williams cannot play back to the basket offense against Tim Duncan. If anything, turn and face or execute a dribble handoff. Get one of your teammates involved.
Ginobili picked up another foul.
Williams has been at his best when he's been flashing from the weak side, getting it and then going up quickly.
Kenyon Martin not a factor offensively tonight, and still not. Rebound, all black jerseys there. Tony Parker pulls it down.
All the loose balls going Tony Parker's way.
Got a little bounce back in his step.
Spurs have hit their last 6 shots behind the back. Bowen has a look for 3. And up and over, and Harris picks it off the backside.
Jefferson is moving strongly without the ball for the first time in a long time. That
Bowen
time
picks up his 4th.
Had to grab him, Bowen did.
Steven Jackson trying to get checked in quickly as Bowen's going to sit.
It's beyond me why, when you play with Jason Kidd, you wouldn't just constantly be flashing without the ball. Because he'll give it to you every single time. He wants you to be the star.
Tonight he's been the scoring star for the Nets. Martin has not.
Ran him over.
And another foul, and Kenyon Martin just hangs his head and picks up his 5th. Virtually no reaction that time after picking up a technical earlier in the ball game.
Well, those are jump shots he would have been taking earlier on, but because he's struggling, you try to get it closer to the rim, and Malik Rose is growing roots there.
It's emblematic, though, of the entire net team today, thinking that it's about effort, thinking that it's about just coming out and all about work. When you're playing against a great team like the Spurs, it's about skill. It's about outthinking your opponents, and the Nets have been unable to compete on that level.
Well, it's obvious that Kenyon Martin physically hasn't been able to compete tonight, so whatever he had is still lingering on him. Duncan double team. Parker gave up a 3 and walked with it.
But having to double team Tim Duncan literally every time without Dikembe Mutombo in the game is going to give San Antonio whatever they want offensively.
Collins driving inside, and Jason Collins with a left hand off the glass. Nice drive by Jason Collins. He's got 7.
Didn't see that one coming.
Well, he's gone 67 minutes without a field goal, so we haven't seen a lot of those.
Nice.
Duncan sort of threw it up there with the right hand. Jason Kidd bringing it down for the Nets. Might take it all the way himself. Does. Didn't get it off the window, but he drew the foul.
Right, he is so good at finishing in the open court. One of the reasons why is that he's so strong. And Collins right here. Nice pump fake. Up. Lefty and kicks it off the glass. And then Jason Kidd. In the open court, he's tough to stop because he's going so fast and so strong. He can bump you off and still manages to get the ball up on the rim for a chance at a finish.
And you saw Ginobili hit the deck as he picks up his 5th foul.
But I still like Popovich's move of coming not only with Steve Kerr here in for Ginobili, but I like the size and strength that he's putting on Jason Kidd defensively here. Be harder to do with the small, minute backcourt of Kerr and Parker.
Jason Kidd now with 27 points. He's hit his last 3 free throws, all his free throws tonight for that matter, and does again. Kenyon Martin and hanging his head, towel, trying to stay warm. Not a good night. But his teammate Jason Kidd's cut the lead to 5 as we're under 9 minutes.
Nice passing.
And blocked by Kittles. Rose got it back, and then Collins, who was in midair, trying to actually support himself so he didn't fall on Rose, and he picks up the foul. San Antonio on the road at Continental Airlines Arena, leading Game 5 of the NBA Finals by 5, 70-65 as we take a look at our Toyota game track tonight. San Antonio led again by Tim Duncan, as always, 23 points, 13 rebounds. The bench has outscored the Nets bench 21-10. Jason Kidd has pretty much been the story, 28 points for the Nets. They finally have a couple other guys that are close to double figures. Richard Jefferson actually is in double figures, but there's a disappointment. Kenyon Martin suffering from the flu the past couple of days. Only 4 points, 5 fouls. He spent most of the night with his head wrapped in that towel on the bench.
And at what point does Byron Scott bring him back into the lineup?
Or does he?
I think you have to. You have to give him a chance. He's the guy that got you here.
Tony Parker had a good second half. That one's way off, though, and Williams the rebound.
Let's see if Kidd can create something here in the half court or in the full court. That's when they've been most successful, when they have to set it up like this. It's been tough going.
Harris outside. And Jackson the rebound.
Steve Kerr getting in there and boxing out.
Well, Byron Scott is playing with 3 guards, Kittles, Harris, and Kidd there, and they still can't make any perimeter shots.
Kerr with the entry pass to Duncan.
Nice repost.
Right back to him. Now Duncan squares and fires and drew the foul from Collins, and that's 5 on Collins.
He's just the best, Duncan. Whenever he sees a guy leaning out of bounds with his hands extended, he just puts that ball in front, starts swinging his arm, and gets to the free throw line every time.
Tim, who had trouble earlier in the series from the free throw line, tonight is 5 of 6, make it 6 out of 7. So Tim Duncan with the free throws has 25 points. The lead is 72-65.
And what a rhythm Duncan is in, and no one out there for New Jersey able to take him out of it.
Williams going to work against Rose. Missed and went after his own shot and got it. Kittles only 6 points tonight. That one's big, though. It's a 2-pointer for Kittles.
Getting very rough underneath the basket. Malik Rose hammered, knocked to the floor that time.
7.5 minutes left to go in the game, and you got a lot of guys out there that didn't start the game, but they're playing like they want to finish it.
The big guy's in foul trouble. Collins still on the floor as Rose knocks down the outside jumper, and Malik, who had a terrible game, an 0 for 9er in game 4, has 12 points tonight.
All the while allowing David Robinson to get some rest. Be ready for the closing push for the San Antonio Spurs.
Kittles trying to break Rose down. He got it to him on the baseline. Tim Duncan the rebound out to Tony Parker.
Who's running with them?
Duncan, who outlet everyone to him.
Dump it inside.
Williams leaning on Duncan as he goes through the double team and is fouled. This one will be on Kittles.
Byron Scott coming back with Richard Jefferson here. Unhappy with the productivity or lack thereof from Lucious Harris.
Other than Jason Kidd, there's not a lot of productivity out there. Jefferson is in double figures. Kittle's only 8 points, including that jumper a minute ago.
And Chris Rock pointed it out. He said that when Jason Kidd has to score and shoot too much, the Nets don't play well. Everybody else standing around.
Duncan on the baseline. It goes.
What an angle. Byron Scott scratching his head is saying, we need a timeout.
Timeout Nets.
Time is running out on the Nets a little bit. 6:16 remaining. Spurs are leading by 9. As we check in, get a report on the Nets from Stuart Scott. Stu.
Brad, the Nets going to bring Kenyon Martin back in the game. Of course, he's got 5 fouls, but Byron Scott told his team during the timeout, the game is now. They're going to bring him back in, but they do not want to put him on Tim Duncan. Of course, the game's now. They don't want him to get his foul. They are worried about the Nets' energy. They feel like their energy is down, and it's got to be up this last 6:16. Guys, back to you.
The game is now. The series for the Nets could very well be now. Coming up next, except on the West Coast, stay tuned for your late local news, followed by Nightline and Jimmy Kimmel Live. 6 minutes and change as Jefferson goes hard to the basket, through the foul, and a chance for a three-point play.
We had the high wages paid for him right there. Everybody got screened out.
Tremendous screen that time by Aaron Williams.
Yep. Not only did he screen his man out, he screened Duncan out too, and he couldn't get over there in time.
Duncan came over to help, picked up his second foul, and Jefferson picks up the three-point play. 13 points for Jefferson. We're down to 6 minutes remaining. This is game 5 of the NBA Finals. And it's all come down to this because no team's ever gone on the road and won a 6 and 7. And the Nets know that. They want to win at home again tonight before we go back to Texas on Sunday. Spurs want to get their 3rd win. And Malik Rose is helping the cause. He has 14 points.
And it all is set up because New Jersey has to double team Tim Duncan. And they got Kenyon Martin guarding Duncan, and that just won't work.
Jefferson leans in. He's fouled.
Once the double team comes, then it just becomes a mad scramble defensively, and Parker or Kerr, Jackson, you name it. It's a long list, endless. Just gets right down the lane and they lay it off. So unselfish.
Jefferson at the free throw line. There he is, 5 out of 6 tonight.
Every time I see that floor cam, I think of a boxer laying on his back. It's like checking out the action.
You probably spent some time that way, didn't you?
Oh, no question. No question.
Jefferson got them both. Lead is 6, 5.5 to play. Fans are trying to get the Nets in those retro uniforms to find a way to come back at home.
If I'm Jason Kidd, I play off Parker and make him show me he can shoot, and he wants to shoot.
Jackson for 3. Rebound, Kenyon Martin. Jason Kidd pushes it. Kittles settles and missed it. But Williams will give him another chance. He'll do it himself. Aaron Williams. Here come the Nets.
Zone defense of their own, trying to protect Martin's foul trouble.
Kerr backs it inside to Duncan. Duncan trying to weave through somehow, and he missed it off the glass, and Martin's got another rebound. Jason Kidd to Jefferson. Inside, Jefferson score.
Jason Kidd at his best, getting everyone involved, breathing life and confidence into his teammates. On the offensive glass, it's Aaron Williams and Richard Jefferson with the kick-ahead pass from Kidd, able to finish time and time again and get to the free throw line.
This time he misses a chance for the three-point play. But he lit up the crowd, and he's got his team back to within 2. 78-76 Spurs, under 4.5 to go.
We'll see if they can get a stop here, because it seems like we've spent the whole half between Spurs +2 and +9.
Parker for 3. Not this time, and it's going to be the Nets ball with a chance to tie or lead.
You got to get a bunch of motion here if you're New Jersey.
David Robinson, they're not allowing him in
right now. Why not? It's a violation. The ball is dead. Why can't David Robinson get into the ball game here?
Robinson calmly went back to one knee in front of the scorers table. Nets trailing by 2. Jefferson, he's been hot, trying to give it to Williams for the tie. Duncan, yet another rebound. As Tom said, every time they get it down to 2, it seems the Spurs find a way to stop it.
Only the best of the best can intimidate the shot and still get the rebound of the shot they forced to miss.
And a jump ball.
I think Joey's going to give Crawford's going to give him the foul on that one.
Yeah, you're right. I thought he had 2 thumbs up. He didn't. It's a foul on Williams.
Well, that's tough right there. But he's, let's see, reaching across the body. That's all. That's all.
Wow.
I mean, I'll tell you what. He has his hand on the ball. You can make a good case. But right there, he comes across the arm. And generally speaking, it doesn't matter who it is. That's a foul 95% of the time in this league.
Tim Duncan, 8 out of 9 from the free throw line.
Unless, of course, it's Tim Duncan doing it to Aaron Williams, then it might be a jump ball.
There's Duncan's night from the field and the line, and he continues to drain him from the stripe. He's hit 6 straight going back into the third quarter from the free throw line. Gives his team again a 4-point cushion as we approach 3.5 to go. And that's needing a charge right now. Kenyon Martin put it on the floor, and Kerr stole it.
That's the anticipation of Martin going left. Steve Kerr knew he was going to go left, just waited for the dribble.
And Popovich will call a timeout with the lead here, settle everything down, make him think about it.
3:14 remaining. San Antonio with the lead. Steve Kerr was in there, the veteran with 26 games of NBA Finals experience, and swatted that ball away from Kenyon Martin and comes up with a big steal.
You know, that's what you get when you anticipate, when you know what players' pet moves are, and you can anticipate which way they're going.
But the feel that Greg Popovich has for this team, he utilizes the complete roster, and you got a great post feeder in Steve Kerr out there.
Kidd trying to double, and that leaves Kerr open, and he knocked down a 3. So he has the defensive play and then the offensive play with a 3-pointer.
You can just see him setting his feet the whole time. Jason Kidd was inching ever further off him. That's automatic.
And a steal by Ginobili. Trying to race ahead of Jefferson, and he does. And Ginobili with 10 points. The Nets with a turnover, and the lead is 9 again.
Well, you know, it goes down to 2, and it goes back up to 9.
But the inability to deliver in the set offense, just mind-boggling here for a team as good as the New Jersey Nets, and a blocking foul against Ginobili.
And that's going to be 5 on Manu.
Well, that was the one big question, and I would have a hard time double-teaming Steve Kerr. I mean, he's just the guy that when he's open and he gets a clean look, you're surprised when he misses. But to me, that was the thread going into this series that I thought would be, you know, kind of woven into every game was, would they be able to score enough in the half court to win? A couple times they have. If they don't do this, it'll be 3 times they haven't.
Jefferson looking for his 19th point.
He's been the guy.
Coming up next, except on the West Coast, stay tuned for your late local news, followed by Nightline and Jimmy Kimmel Live. 7-point ball game with 2:15 left.
Poor floor balance. They got to get Steve Kerr on the ball side over here.
Parker Crossover dribble against Jefferson, blocked by Williams. Kenyon Martin running the floor.
Fine Jason Kidd.
But David Robinson, the old men here in the last couple minutes. Kerr and Robinson with huge play.
Watch who you're calling old.
Well, relatively older guys.
Think he wants a second championship?
I think so.
I'm not sure why either one of them's even thinking of retiring.
Kerr will try another jumper, and he knocks another one down.
Just like Game 6 to close out game at Dallas, forcing Byron Scott to burn another timeout.
Spurs leading by 9 with 1 minute and 41 seconds remaining. Steve Kerr is at a 3-pointer and then this 2-pointer in this quarter.
Well, you like to make him put the ball on the floor, but right there it makes you pay. And who is that? Prime time? Prime time Kerr. Look at that.
Got a little strut going there. The Spurs bench tonight has come through when they needed them. There's the numbers. And now it's time for the Nets to wake up, or they're going to find themselves looking down the barrel 3-2 and going on the road for 1 or 2, and no team's ever been able to do that. Jason Kidd, who's had a sensational game, feeding inside to Aaron Williams, and Williams scores. He's got 8. We're down to 1.5 minutes.
And finally some backcourt pressure, but token as Parker's able to easily get it up into the front court.
Tim Duncan gives it up to Ginobili, and he'll drive. Didn't get the score, but it comes out to Steve Kerr and a fresh 24-second clock.
What's more precious than a bucket? Another 24 seconds.
I'd like to see Ginobili pull the trigger on that 3.
What was, boy.
Jefferson comes out of the pile with Tony Parker's miss. We're under 1 minute.
Oh, quick on the trigger there.
Jason Kidd, is this his last game in this arena, in this uniform? Free agent in July. He's had a big game. He's fouled going to the hole.
Well, David Robinson, come on. Unless he was inside the arc so clearly that you had to call that a defensive foul. Jason Kidd just ran over him.
Jason Kidd hasn't had a field goal since about midway through the 3rd quarter, but from the free throw line where he was so good the other night, and he misses that one. That's the first miss tonight for him. First time he's missed one in 10 free throws dating back to game 4. But you think about Jason Kidd and you look at that uniform and you wonder if it's going to say something else next year. And this is his last game in this arena this year. We know that because we're heading to Texas on Sunday.
And now it becomes a free throw affair as New Jersey forced to foul every change of possession.
You're trying to stretch the game out now, and they had no choice there but to foul, because if San Antonio were allowed to run 24 seconds off the shot clock, that would have been under 24 seconds. Then they could have just ran it out. So you try to pick and choose. You'd like not to foul Parker, but at this time, you got to foul someone who touches it.
Tony Parker missed a free throw.
Although the way he's been struggling, maybe he is the guy you want to foul.
Game 5 road victories in the finals doesn't happen very often.
Parker got the second, 12 for Tony. The Spurs are 19 out of 23 from the free throw line with a timeout with 44 seconds in a 7-point game. Many of the sold-out crowd is headed out. The Nets poor shooting tonight. Lucious Harris only 1 for 7. Kenyon Martin only 4 points on the night. And Kerry Kittles, who had a good game 3, games 4 and 5 have not been good for him. Jason Kidd's really been the only scoring star for the Nets tonight with 29.
Let's not undersell the San Antonio defense. That since Tim Duncan arrived 6 years ago, every year they're at record level performances for opponents' field goal percentage and fewest points allowed. And they lead the league in block shots every single year.
Oh, nice play. Oops.
Jefferson lost the handle. Tony Parker now on the break. Williams trying to look out.
Him 2 in the ball out of bounds.
Not a good play by Aaron Williams. Out of character there.
Oh, he didn't have much choice. He didn't want to
let him go.
I'm not letting him go. I want to see him make a couple free throws.
Look, if you're this far behind the fastest player in the game, you think that's a good play? You think that's a good play?
I don't like the results. I don't like the fact that he hit him in the head.
Thank you.
So
no place for that in basketball.
Tony Parker to the line for a couple.
I'm not advocating hitting people in the head. I'm advocating trying to get to the ball. And I think he tried to get to the ball, just maybe not.
And Parker hits them both.
I was having trouble settling that one. That one just wasn't.
So every time somebody wins a game, the other team comes back and wins the next one. They haven't been able to carry momentum. I don't know if that means that the Nets can do it on the road, where it's going to be a tough spot at the SBC Center, but they are going to have to worry about evening it off now, because they're down 9 with 35 seconds remaining.
The Spurs have given up a closeout game at home in the Dallas series, the Western Conference Finals. They went home 3-1, ready to send them on their way to vacation. Dallas Mavericks went crazy. The Spurs played very tentative basketball. They had to go back and win it on the road.
Steve Kerr had to talk that one in.
Well, you look at what they've been able to do since that 3-minute mark of the third quarter. Kerr's come in, giving him 6 going on 7. Parker's given him 8. Rose has given him 8. The only one that's given Kidd any help has been Richard Jefferson.
Steve Kerr missed the second free throw, unlike him.
And Duncan almost another offensive rebound.
Williams up high for the rebound. Sticks it back in. And the foul is on David Robinson. I think that's it on him.
Well, we're talking history in the making here tonight with a Game 5 road victory under the 2-3-2 format. This is the 23rd time in the history of the NBA Finals that there's been a Game 5 where it's come in 2-2. And this will only be the 4th time in NBA history that the road team has won that. George Mikan did it once in the early 50s, and Michael Jordan did it twice in the 90s. Good company for Tim Duncan.
Now Tim Duncan, who got the rebound, is going to do it here in 2003. Ginobili, the pass ahead, final 20 seconds. And the foul on Jefferson. I was thinking about Steve Kerr missing that free throw, but you know what? He has scored 20 total points in the playoffs, and 17 of them come in fourth quarter, including 6 here today.
It's not as if Greg Popovich is coming with him early in the game.
No.
Well, you have to give him a lot of credit too. A lot of guys will go down at the end of that bench and not concentrate, maybe not work out after a game, and say, you know what, I'm not going to play. Why should I stay ready? And it's a credit to not only Steve to stay ready, but the whole San Antonio Spurs team are a bunch of professionals.
Kevin Willis, Steve Smith. Yep.
Kenyon Martin. Tough night for Kenyon Martin, a very tough night, and a tough night for the Nets at home, as they're going to fall down by 10 points, which will be the second biggest margin of victory by either team in the series. 93-83 San Antonio, and the Spurs are that much closer to having their second championship. Let's check in with Michelle Tafoya.
All right, standing by with Tim Duncan, 29 points. You guys broke 90 points tonight, so you were able to squeeze a little bit more out of the offense. How did it happen?
Good effort. We shot the ball a little better. Our turnovers were still there, but we seemed to get a lead and keep giving it back, get a lead, keep giving it back, but luckily enough down the stretch we kept it.
Yeah, down the stretch, they kept cutting it to 2, cutting it to 4, but how did you hold them off? What was crucial there?
Steve Kerr. He came in and he was big for us. Guys hit free throws down the stretch, but honestly, Steve Kerr came in and hit a bunch of big baskets for us.
So you head back to San Antonio with a 3-2 lead in the series. They have beaten you there, and no one's won 2 straight in this series. So how would you assess where you stand right now?
I'd rather where we are than where they are. Going back home, we need 1 win out of these 2, and we're going to try to get this first one.
Congratulations. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.